Hi, good day all of you. Welcome to our channel Intelligible Tutorials and welcome to our session. In the previous session we completed the process concept. It contains various information regarding the process like how a process can be created, what are the various system calls associated with the process, how the process can get executed, how the process can get terminated, what are the various states of the process. All this information we have seen in our previous session. In this particular session, now we are going to see the information like process creation mechanism, how the process can be created, what are the various number of the system calls associated with the process, and what are the attributes regarding the process. All this information now we are going to see. As earlier we discussed, what is the meaning of the process? A process is a part of the program, or it may be a program, or it is a background ongoing process, or it is a foreground ongoing process. Whatever it is, the process inside in the system, the ongoing activity within the system is called a process. Okay, now we are going to see what is the process creation mechanism, how a process can get created. See, while booting of the system, a process can be created called init process, as we already discussed. The value of the init process is number 1. Okay. Next, we can create a new process with the help of the fork system call. That is, process P1 is running, and after application of the fork system call to this particular process, this process can be divided into two processes. One is the P1, another one is the P2. This P1 is called as the parent process and this P2 is called as the child process. So, after application of the fork to any ongoing process, it divides the process into two ways, that is called as the parent process and as well as the newly created child process. Okay. So, after successful application of this particular fork system call, it returns three values. The first value is nothing but -1, the second value is nothing but 0, and third value is nothing but 1. The first value -1 is nothing but after successful execution it returns 0, 1 for successful execution. -1 when it returns, whenever there is an error occurs in the execution, it returns -1. So after successful execution, it returns two values, one is 0 and another is 1. What is the meaning of the 0? It returns 0 to its child process. 0 to the child process and 1 to the parent process. That means the process is the parent, it can have one child. That is the meaning of the returning of one value to the parent process. So like that it returns three values like -1, 0 and 1 after successful completion of the fork system call. So the ongoing process can be divided into two. The rest of the one is the previous one is called the parent process and the rest of the one is called the child process. Like that we can differentiate the two processes. We can create one process into two processes with the help of the fork system call. Okay, so after successful execution it returns only two values and unsuccessful execution it returns one value called minus value, that is -1, or any negative value it returns, not only -1, any kind of the negative value the fork system call will return. Next we see the rest of the two system calls, what are the wait and exec system calls we do. The next system call we need to talk about is nothing but wait. Whenever a process is going for execution or under execution, it should be waited for a period of time or for a particular point of time, then that particular process is said to be in the waiting state. Waiting state means it is going for execution but it is under waiting state. The other processes are running, the remaining processes are under the waiting state. They are waiting for the scheduling, that is called the wait state. The next state is nothing but EXEC. EXEC means the process is under run state. So, whenever a process is running under execution, we can say that process is in execution state. And next we are going to see, already we have discussed, there are two different processes. Number one is foreground process and number 2 is background process. What is the meaning of the foreground process? These are visible processes and user can give input, and background processes are non-visible or invisible processes and no input they can take from the user. These are the background processes. So these are the two different kinds of the processes which we can already discussed, foreground process and as well as the background process. So next we are going to see how a foreground process can be terminated and how a background process can be terminated. That thing we are going to see. We need to talk about a concept called termination of a process. How a process can get terminated. Okay. So how a foreground process can get terminated, how a background process can get terminated. A foreground process can get terminated with the help of Control C. Control C is there, a command. After application of this, it will be terminated. How a background process can get terminated with the help of a system call called kill. If you put the PID in this particular parenthesis, that particular process will be terminated. So background process can be terminated like this, foreground process can be terminated like this. Foreground process that are visible, the user can give some input, the user can give some kind of the information that can be there in the foreground processes. Whereas in the background process, we can kill or you can terminate directly with the help of a system call called kill. If at all you know the process ID or PID of that particular process, then only you can terminate the background system call, or else you cannot. So you have to understand clearly this kill. In the parenthesis of the kill, you need to give the process ID of the system call what you want to terminate. Okay. So these two are the commands. One is the command, another one is the system call, which is going to terminate a ongoing process or a process which is under running. Next we are going to talk about the process attributes. What are the various process attributes? Now we are going to see. Process attributes. See, normally we have the process attributes as PID, parent process ID, NICE, terminal time, and real user ID, real group ID, and effective user ID and effective group ID. These are the various process attributes that we have listed. Totally how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Totally 8 number of the process attributes are there. We have. Totally 8 number of the process attributes are there. One by one we are going to see here. The first one is nothing but PID stands for process ID. As already we have discussed, in Linux operating system, each and every process can have uniquely generated identification number that is called as process ID. And the next one is parent process ID. What is the parent of it, that particular process, from whom it was created? That is called the parent process ID. Okay, next we need to talk about a command. Actually it's a command. This is called NICE. What it is now we are going to see. See, for example, there are 4 number of the processes, P1, P2, P3 and P4. Okay. So, all the processes are under ready for execution. But we have to prioritize only one process. We have to take only one process for execution. So, to take one process for execution, we need to prioritize the processes. Which process can have the highest priority? Which process can have the lowest priority? The highest priority processes can be handled first. They can be executed. The lowest priority processes are being in the waiting state. These processes can be prioritized with the help of the NICE command. Okay, processes can be prioritized. Okay, so NICE gives the values to the process as 0 to 5. Whenever a process has highest value means it having the highest priority. Whenever a process having 0 means, a nice value as 0 means it is having the lowest priority. So in the process attributes, nice value is also one of the attribute. The nice value 5 means having the highest priority, 4 means it is also one kind of the highest priority, 0 means lowest priority. So for each and every process we should maintain the nice value. Nice command is one command which is going to prioritize the processes. Nice value means the process priority value. That is the attribute of the, one more attribute of the process here. Next, we are going to talk about the next one is called as TTY. TTY stands for terminal type. On which terminal it is running. That is also one of the attribute here. The next one is who are the real user of that particular process and which group he belongs to, that is nothing but real group ID, and who are the effective user who are using that, that is nothing but effective user who is making it as effective, that is effective user ID, and effective group, in which group he belongs to, that is nothing but effective group ID. All these are the various attributes relevant to the process attributes. The first one is the parent ID, process ID. The next one is the parent process ID. And third one is the nice value for prioritizing that particular processes, in what priority it has. And the next one is who are the real user who created it, which group it belongs to, and on which he is working, that comes under the effective user ID and as well as the effective group ID. All these are the various process attributes. In the next session, we see some more important information regarding the processes. Thank you.